Cutting off his nose. There's an old saying which says, cutting off your nose to spite your face. This is an expression to describe a needlessly self-destructive overreaction to a problem. Don't cut off your nose to spite your face is a warning against acting out of malice or against pursuing revenge in a way that would damage oneself more than the object of one's anger. It would seem that the president has an aptitude for doing the former, and I presume his friends and advisers are loudly shouting the latter. Their cries for restraint don't seem to put a dent in his rushing headlong into creating problems for himself and others, most notably the nation. It would seem that he cannot help himself. He is determined to get back at those whom he thinks have wronged him, regardless of what serious harm it may cause the United States. Here we go again. The United States postal system is hanging on by a thread. As he points out, some regulations are creating problems for the entity and may need to be changed. But the run-up to his directive paints a different picture. It is not the misguided regulations he really wants to change. It is obvious that he wants to undermine someone whom he thinks is out to get him. The focus of his ire is a group of journalists who seem to be well connected enough to see and say things before others do. They constantly get under the president's skin by the information they uncover, some of which may be journalistic hype, but much of which hits its mark and keeps the general public informed of things this administration would like to hide. This, of course, is the reason the United States has a free press and guards the First Amendment so arduously. Rather than present facts which would counter the information these journalists have supposedly uncovered, the president attacks the owner of the medium they use to present their information. Rather than confront the person whom he blames for what he purports to be a smear campaign, the president attacks a deal one of this person's companies has negotiated with an entity loosely controlled by the government of the United States. That is to say, by the president himself. What's more, this negotiated deal may be the one thing keeping this quasi-governmental agency afloat. This brings me back to the first characterization of him presented in this piece. He would rather destroy the United States postal system needlessly in a self-destructive overreaction than face his problem directly. He would rather cut off his nose to spite his face than find a solution to the problems he has highlighted. Yes, the postal system needs work, but don't use fixing its problems as a guise for dealing with someone with whom you have a disagreement. Yes, often journalists get it wrong and do not present the facts correctly, but don't slam the profession. Find ways to present the information in a way that edifies everyone and advances the best interest of the nation. It's not all about you, Mr. President. In fact, it should not be about you at all. It should be about finding ways to lock arms and move our country forward. It should not be about creating a celebrity, but about creating a celebration of a free people freely exercising their rights and being the bright beacon on a hill spoken of by one of your predecessors.